Hey everyone, and welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be going through things that you can do to prepare for patch 7.2. This is actually really early for a video like this, but there's a number of things that you pretty much might actually want to start working on now. And the first one of those things is your Order Hall upgrades. So the new patch is bringing a new batch of Order Hall upgrades. These are going to be quite important for your character's progression, so you're going to want to stock up on Order Hall resources now. I mean, seriously, these are really expensive. This is especially important because the final upgrade will basically mean the new relics give you +2 in a trait instead of the current +1. The 7th upgrade tier costs 20,000 Order Hall resources and takes currently 1 hour to research in the PTR, but I imagine that would be like 5 to 10 days on live. That would be kind of in line with what's done at the minute. The 8th upgrade tier is the really important one. It costs 30,000 Order Hall resources and it takes 14 days to research. Having the resources sort of good to go on patch day means you're not going to be spending time grinding them up when you'd rather be doing other bits of content. You're probably looking at about 250 Bloods of Sagaris worth of resources based on what the Blood vendor currently sells, off the top of my head. When it comes to Order Hall resources, you want to be mindful of the Order Hall gear set. So currently you can actually get the belt, feet, gloves, waist, and helm really quickly on a new alt. This patch will add an upgrade token that'll take these bits of gear up to 860. This could be pretty handy for getting a fresh alt up to speed without blowing a whole bunch of money in OBLITERUM gear. And what's especially nice is that a few bits of this, plus some crafted gear, will instantly cause world quests to spawn at 845 plus item level, which will really help give a new character actually quite a boost in their initial item level. Champion gear is another thing that you might want to prepare for, so I think it's a good idea to keep up on your gear work orders from the Order Hall. Why? Well, at the very least, we know that this patch will be adding a new champion for everybody and increasing the maximum to 6. Also, followers have a new experience level called Titled. This will give all your followers a 3rd equipment slot. They might add some new item levels, but currently the item level cap hasn't been increased on the PTR. And the new champion that your class gets might be best in slot, and there's probably going to be a new set of raid chests for the Tomb of Sagaris raid, so you want to be decently, in a good shape to get those raid chests pretty quick when the patch drops. Also, artifact power. So this isn't something to do, but it's something you should avoid doing. We know that there will be new traits in the patch, so it might seem intuitive to farm up artifact power items so that you'll have a bit of a leg up on patch day. This isn't going to work. They're basically kind of disabling the current AP tokens for the 7.2 and above stuff. Basically, there just isn't a way to pull up AP tokens at the minute, so you're best to just use them on your other specs weapons so you can actually enjoy those until the patch comes out. And next we've got the topic of reputation tokens. Right, so basically the most recent version of the PTR has actually nullified the tip that I would have given here. We previously thought that the BOA rep tokens could be used for the new Paragon reputation system in this patch. However, existing reputation tokens as of patch 7.2 will only get you up to Exalted. And this is pretty new information, but basically if you get a rep token and you're already Exalted on your main, it will be BOA and you can give that to one of your alts. So that's what you should do with rep tokens. Unfortunately, what we thought you would have been able to do is no longer possible. Next, we've got the topic of the herb and ore market. So prices are probably going to crash quite a bit. Why? Well, people are going to unlock flying this patch. This will drastically decrease the amount of time that it takes for people to get a whole bunch of materials, leading to pretty much an increase in supply. Of course, it's also possible that by the time people unlock flying, the raid will be out and then demand will be up because people want, consumables for the raid, but overall, I would estimate that the value of your currently extremely, valuable herbs and stuff will go down. So I'd actually recommend that if you have been stockpiling all that stuff, it might be a good idea to kind of shift them now. And also don't stock up on consumables as they'll likely be a lot cheaper when the patch drops. And also don't stock up too much on consumables. They'll likely be a good bit cheaper when the patch drops because herbs will be cheap. Overall, though, I do hope that the price of consumables manages to go down somehow in this patch with the increased supply, because right now it's a little bit silly with some of the professions, and I think it's maybe not the best for players as well with how expensive some consumables are. Finally, we have the OBLITERUM Forge. This is unlocked for everyone when the patch comes out, so there really isn't much point in getting it on a new character unless you really want to use it immediately. This might have an effect on the price of OBLITERUM, though I feel like most of the people who would potentially be supplying that market, like, I think they've had a forge for months, so the knock-on effect, I think, on the market here won't be particularly massive, and it would likely be offset by the fact that 2 more like levels to the Obliterum cap are being added all the way up to 875. Anyway, they are my main tips for now. Look, the goal in this video is just some things you can focus on initially, and I think that Order Hall resource stuff could be really important. I know that personally I don't like the idea of this patch dropping and me being like 30,000 Order Hall resources behind, because that's a pretty tremendous grind to overcome. Of course, when more stuff's on the PTR, I will likely do an updated version of this video covering any more sort of specific things, but right now, I think that Order Hall stuff's really, it could be key to your character's progression, especially with the upgrades, so probably worth farming out those resources now. Or of course, Bloods of Sagaris. Remember, 1 blood equals 200 Order Hall resources at the blood vendor in Dalaran. Anyway, that's it for me. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.